Hey guys, this video is going to be a quick review of the brand new X-Men film that came out like last week. It's called X-Men Apocalypse, and I saw it last night with my girlfriend, and I'm gonna talk to you about it for a bit. So X-Men Apocalypse follows the same cast as First Class and Days of Future Past, and keeps going another 10 years in story. So, as we start, it's the 80s. Yay! 80s! And a whole load of stuff. Magneto's basically gone into hiding. Mystique is just trying to keep mutants from dying all over the place and stuff. So she's been keeping busy. And then the whole stuff with the film actually starts. So, yeah. Apocalypse shows up, one of the big bad X-Men villains, who originally originated in the 80s. So that's an interesting thing. That's when his character was created, was the 80s. So the first thing I really want to say about the film is that it was much better for one particular thing than the other X-Men films have been. And that was that this film was a team film, which was so great. This is what an X-Men film was meant to be about. It's not meant to be about Wolverine. It's not meant to be only about Wolverine. It's not meant to be about only Charles and Magneto. It's meant to be about a huge cast. Now, granted, Charles and Magneto are still pretty big parts of it, but it also focuses a lot on the kids as well. It focuses a lot on the various members of the team. It focuses on Mystique quite a lot. It focuses on Scott, Cyclops. It focuses a lot on Jean. It focuses a lot on Kurt. It does focus a lot on the new characters and on the returning characters, as opposed to just two characters and only those two characters, which is a weakness of First Class. It was a weakness of the other three X-Men films, which focused only on Wolverine, and it was a weakness of Days of Future Past, which focused on Wolverine and Mystique and Charles and Eric. Just those four who have been done to death in every single film, every time. Basically, this one was better for actually being an ensemble piece. I loved that aspect of it. It was so much better. The best moment in the film, for me personally, was the moment when Jean did the Phoenix. She was the Phoenix, and I was just like, it's happening, it's happening! And apparently, according to my girlfriend who I was with, I did get quite a few odd looks in the cinema, but basically, I nerdgasmed over Phoenix. I am a colossal nerd, basically. In my defense, it was an awesome moment that I wish they had done properly in the original X-Men films, because they fucked them up with Last Stand, with X3. Another one that I felt was so much better was the treatment of Cyclops in the film. Granted, he was the younger brother rather than the older brother as in the comics, but he was treated so much better in this film than he's been treated in any of the other X-Men films. He's not just Wolverine's foil he's not just a foil to Wolverine. He's not just like this rival. He is so much more. He is a leader of characters. He is a person that can actually do some good shit. And so much better in this film than in the other ones. Same goes for Nightcrawler. As much as I did like Alan Cummings' version of Nightcrawler in X2, I think I prefer this version. However, on the other hand, I have to say I was less fond of the way Angel was treated in this one, because he was basically portrayed as being some sort of weird cage fightery person, and he had claws on his wings, which has never happened before. I didn't... One thing that I felt was quite good was Oscar Isaac playing Apocalypse, and he was quite good as Apocalypse. He had the right gravitas to actually bring the role to life in a way, but not quite the hamminess that is sometimes needed for Apocalypse. So, like, he was okay. I wouldn't say he was fantastic, though. Now, there is one thing that I felt was a bit annoying, and that was the whole racial stuff. So at the start of the film, there was a scene based around the portrayal of Apocalypse, featuring a lot of Egyptians, and, well, most of them were white or white passing, which is not accurate to the actual history of the thing. They are not really that white passing. It's a dirty part of our culture, is that we assume that the Egyptians were white. They were not white. Represent people properly! Additionally, I felt that more of the characters of colour were rather glossed over, so Jubilee and Storm didn't really actually have that much happening in the film for themselves. So, like, Storm was standing around helping Apocalypse most of the time and made up her mind at the end. There was one other scene where she got any sort of good character development, and that was the point where she was talking about how Raven Mystique was her hero, and I just don't know about that as an idea. The other character who was really done out of anything was Jubilee, who has been touted in all the trailers and stuff, and she disappeared she did not appear, aside from in like 3 scenes, one of which was to argue with Cyclops about Star Wars. So, backstepping for a moment, I do want to also say that I felt that that whole betrayal of Apocalypse thing was a bit weird. Like, the whole thing to do with pushing the entirety of that pyramid down like that. Like, that seems like a good plan, and then you see what they actually did, and like, wow, that just was not a cool thing. Like, how does that work? How did they know about that? How was that constructed in such a way that Apocalypse and his horsemen would not know about it? What? That's incredibly contrived, and so basically, my main thoughts about this movie are that it was pretty decent. It had one of my favourite moments in comic book film, the Phoenix bit. That was brilliant. And, well, like, you know, it had its weaknesses in a lot of plot bits. It really did. But other than that, it was pretty damn good. I enjoyed it quite a lot in most aspects, so I'm gonna give it an okay enough grade. It's quite fun. Tell me in the comments below whether you'd like this film and what you hoped for, and whether it was, well, you know, granted in the film. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you remember to like and share it and subscribe to my channel. Click on the thumbnail down below to see other videos by me. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.